The draft is over, so we got some things to talk about. What's up, Fin fans? So first off, if I sound like absolute poopy pants, it's because it's allergy season and I'm dying. But there's a ton of things I want to talk about in this video. First off, I want to talk about the 3 picks we had yesterday, the 4 picks we had yesterday, sorry, which was the 5th, the 6th, and the 2 and 7s. Then I want to break down and give you guys a grade for this year's draft. Then I want to talk about the 2020 picks. Then I want to talk briefly about the undrafted free agents. Not the list, because I'll talk about that again when we get there, May 8th, and then I want to really get into depth on Josh Rosen. Before we get into all that good stuff, so this is going to be a good video. It's going to be a good lengthy video. Let's talk about what happened yesterday. So yesterday in the 5th round, the Miami Dolphins selected Andre Van Ginkel, outside linebacker, Wisconsin. Now, when the pick first happened, I was very skeptical, I guess you can say, because I wanted the Dolphins to take Joe Jackson, the edge rusher from Miami U. I thought at that point, at the 5th round, that would have been a great pickup, especially because we have such a need at pass rusher. Right now, the Dolphins don't have, I think they have 3 pass rushers, and the only pass rusher that is has any type of experience really is Charles Harris. So I was kind of really wanting them to take a pass rusher at that point, but they took Andrew Van Ginkel, and I did more research into him and I looked more into him, and he is the quintessential outside linebacker. Like he was a 5th rounder, so okay, it's middle round, but he has like his explosiveness, his finish, his like effort. Everything he does is at 100,000%, which I like a lot about him. Now he does have flaws. Obviously, if he didn't have flaws, we wouldn't pick him up in the 5th round. But I really do like this guy. He's got a great motor. He's just always going. Now, obviously, there's flaws in his game. Obviously, he's not going to be the best outside linebacker that we're going to have. But at first, like I said, I hated the pick because I wanted them to go for edge rusher, Joe Jackson, or some of the potential other edge rushers that were there. But after really looking at this pick, I like the pick. I like the pick a lot. Then in round 6, which is what we got from the Saints to trade back in the 2nd round. So we got their 2nd next year. They got our 4th this year, and then we got their 6th this year. The Dolphins take Isaiah Prince, tackle out of Ohio State. I like this is when I was like, yes, okay, cool. Now they're filling in some of the needs, because the outside linebacker wasn't necessarily a need. Maybe he could play the 3-4 edge rusher at that outside linebacker position, but it wasn't a need. Whereas once they took this tackle, I was happy. I was happy because I'm like, okay, it's going to fill a need, because he plays right tackle. Like that's the position he's going to play. He has a ton of potential, a lot of potential. He's growing and getting better at pass rushing, and he's got a lot of potential. He just needs to work on his foot movement, his hand placement, and the technique, and he's going to be a good right tackle. They say as of right now he's a good backup, especially because we drafted him in the 6th round. Again, it's a 6th round pick, but he has very good potential to be a starter. So maybe Jesse Davis will start at right tackle. Being that we got Michael Dierter, who will probably play right guard or left guard. I'm thinking right guard. So maybe Jesse Davis will start at right tackle, and then we'll have Isaiah Prince be a backup and learn and maybe potentially win that right tackle position. But I do like the pick a lot from Isaiah Prince. It was a great pickup, especially in the 6th round. Then we have our first 7th round pick, which we got from Tennessee for the Ryan Tannehill trade, and we took. It says running back, but I'm hearing he's a fullback, Chandler Cox out of Auburn, which. Again, it's a 7th round pick, and I like the pick because it's showing the type of offense the Dolphins are going to go towards. It's going towards that fullback, run-heavy power offense, and I'm liking that they're going back to that. I didn't mind Adam Gase's finesseness in his offense, but I wanted them to run the ball. And now, with them drafting a fullback or H-back/fullback, I like the move. especially because it's a 7th rounder and he probably plays special teams. Again, these 7th round picks normally are special teamers, and then your undrafted are special teamers, or you find the diamonds in the rough. But I like this pick a lot, especially because he's a fullback. When was the last time the Dolphins had a fullback? Seriously. So I like that pick. And then with the last pick, the Dolphins, round 7, pick 20. So it was 19-20 back-to-back. This is the pick they got from Cleveland for the Jarvis Landry trade. They take Myles Gaskin, running back out of Washington. Now, this guy's small. He's 5'9", but he's durable and he's productive. He's also very, very fast. Think of a Sproles type of running back. He's got quick feet, elusive hips, so he's really quick, really elusive, really fast. Again, think of a Sproles type of running back. The thing is, he needs better decision making, and because he's indecisive, especially when it comes to hitting the A gap, the B gap, or finding the hole. He's very indecisive. But again, a 7th round pick for someone who, I'm not saying he's exactly like Darren Sproles, but has the Sproles type of play. I like the moves. I like the back-to-back moves here, especially because it starts to give you an idea of what they're thinking on offense, what they think they're running on offense. So the draft in a whole, 1st round Christian Wilkins, loved the pick. Absolutely loved the pick. A lot of you guys wanted Haskins. They didn't take Haskins. A lot of you guys were very upset they didn't take Haskins. But I like the Christian Wilkins pick. I like how disruptive he is. I love how he gets into the backfield so quick and so easily. I love how he completely disrupts the quarterbacks. I like the pick a lot, especially because it fills one of our biggest needs, which is defensive tackle. We couldn't stop the run for the past how many years? So to get a defensive tackle that is that disruptive, I like it. Also, you can, if we're doing a 3-4 front set, have Christian Wilkins. Then you can have Gachow, you can have Spence, you can have Harris, you can have Woodard, you can have all these guys playing at the same time on that 3-4 front defensive line. So I like the move. Second pick. Obviously, you wouldn't have one, but I'm going to say Josh Rosen as our second pick. I'm going to talk more in depth on Josh Rosen, like I said, when I go to comment of the day. But Josh Rosen, I didn't like the move. When it was rumored that Josh Rosen was going to get picked up by the Dolphins, I didn't want it. I saw his play in Arizona. A lot of you guys commented that he had no offensive line in Arizona. Kind of doesn't have one here yet. Again, yet. So I didn't want the move. But when the move happened, I was upset. Not angry and not pissed. I never once said I hate this team, like that dumb guy who was interviewed said he's done as a Dolphin. I will never say that. I don't care what the Dolphins do. I will never say that. But I was like, ugh, we could have used that second for something, blah, blah, blah. But he's a Miami Dolphin. He's now a Miami Dolphin quarterback. He's now my quarterback. So I did more research. I looked more into him. And then if you guys noticed in yesterday's video, I said I'm going to give him a chance. I even said I liked the trade because of how much we got for trading down and how we didn't give the Cardinals what they wanted. I talked about how much I liked the trade, and I said I'm going to give this guy a chance because he's now my quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
So we have the Josh Rosen thing. Like I said, I'm going to talk more about Josh Rosen in about 5 minutes. So stay tuned if you want to hear more about Josh Rosen from me. Again, I think you'll like it. I got some things to say. Josh Rosen, the second round. So that's the way I see it. Is our second round pick is Josh Rosen. Third round, Michael Dierter, guard. He's a tackle, but he's a guard out of Wisconsin. I like that move a lot. One of our biggest needs, offensive line, defensive line. Like I said, I want to build through the trenches, so we got the guard. And then, like I said, yesterday, outside linebacker, tackle, fullback, running back. Now, as a grade for the Miami Dolphins draft, not an A+ for me, only because there was still more needs on the board. The fact that they didn't address pass rusher. If they would have drafted a pass rusher with one of their 4 picks in the later rounds, especially with the 5th round, if they would have went pass rusher, I probably would have gave this like an A+. I wouldn't say an A+, but I would have gave it like an up there grade. But they still have some holes. Again, I'm going to talk about that stuff in a second because I know you guys are probably watching this like about to start typing stuff. Give me a second. I got a lot to say in this video. I'd probably give this grade for the Miami Dolphins, being that they got a potential future franchise quarterback. They got the defensive tackle, and they picked up 2 offensive linemen, right? So the way I see it is, if you can get 4 starters out of this draft, I like it a lot. I'd give it probably like a B plus A. I give this draft. I like this draft. The more I look at it, the more I'm doing breaking down video. This is also why I didn't do this video yesterday, is because I like to look at things, break down things, do research. I really like what they did, especially in the later rounds, getting that fullback running back combo, and then getting the tackle, Isaiah Prince, in the 6th. Like I said, B plus A. I wouldn't say it's an A plus, the greatest draft of all time, but it's a good, solid draft. So now I just want to real quick talk about the 2020 draft picks. I'm not talking about the 2020 draft because there's no point in doing that because it's 2019. But the 2020 draft picks, only because we're wheeling and dealing to get some picks. And Chris Greer even said when him and Brian Flores did their post-draft press conference that they went into this draft with the goal to get another 1st or 2nd round pick in 2020, and they succeeded. So now the 2020 draft picks, we have 1 first round, 2 2nd rounds, the 2nd one coming from the New Orleans Saints, 2 3rd rounds. Now, one of the 3rd rounds is the comp pick for Juwan James. It's not a definite that it's a 3rd round, but more likely than not, it's a 3rd round. 2 4th round picks, one of them coming from Tennessee. Now we only have 1 5th round pick potentially, which is the comp pick for Cameron Wake. We have 2 6th round picks, one of them being from the Cowboys for Robert Quinn, and 2 7th round picks, one of them coming from Jordan Lucas trade to the Kansas City Chiefs, which gives the Dolphins a total of 12 draft picks next year, which is just a huge, huge, huge capital. I'm going to talk about that literally. I got 2 more things to say, and then we're going to get into the meat of this thing. But that's great. Huge 12 picks. You can really build the franchise off of that, and they already started to build the franchise. How many times in videos that I say the Miami Dolphins aren't tanking? How many times did I have guys comment on my videos when I said they weren't tanking, that they're tanking? Look what they're doing, Doug. They haven't signed anybody. They haven't done this. They haven't done that. They're tanking. And how many times did I tell you guys they're not tanking? They are building. Great. They're showing in this draft, and they're showing what they're doing, that they're building this team up, and they're not tanking. Undrafted players are being signed yesterday and today, but it's not official. So if you guys are following me on Twitter, which I hope you are, you can see that I'm retweeting and tweeting out things, seeing people getting, saying that they're going to training camp or they're going to camp with certain teams. Like Tyree Jackson said he's going to Buffalo. Hasn't officially signed yet, because you could be on the plane going there and completely change your mind. I think one of the Miami U players was going to Miami and decided to not join the Dolphins for camp, and I think he's going to Buffalo now. So nothing's official. I'm going to do a full video on the undrafted players that the Dolphins get when it's all becomes official. So I just want to let you guys know about that. Also, there's some holes in this team still. There's some holes at edge rusher that we still need a 2nd corner, even though we have Rowe, Tankersley, McTired. We still need another corner. We still have some holes to fill, especially, some on the offensive line at the another guard position. May 8th is where the Dolphins are going to fill a lot of these holes and a lot of the experience that they need. Most importantly, edge rusher. May 8th, like on the defensive end from the Lions, Ansah is still out there. There's still right tackles, starting right tackles out there. There's still a lot of good players that are out there. There's still some Danny Shelton's out there, some defensive tackles. There's still good players out there. So May 8th is when they're going to start addressing what they couldn't address in the draft. In this draft, they took what they got, and they took what they thought was the best available at that time. And that's why I gave the draft grade a B+/A. So May 8th, the Miami Dolphins are going to start really getting the players they need to build this team to be competitive in the NFL. So May 8th, we need to, I might go live May 8th, to be honest with you, because that's when the signings start happening. So look out for that. Now, comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the draft. Let me know what you guys think of the draft grade. Let me know what you guys think of what the Dolphins are doing with the 2020 picks, with the undrafted players. If you see some of the names, again, it's not official, but if you see some of the names, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to get to one of you guys' comments of the day, and this is really going to just go into what I wanted to talk about with Josh Rosen. So let's get into it real quick. And this comment comes from Lenoris Murray. And this comes from the video where I talk about the Dolphins trading for Josh Rosen, and he says to me, "I didn't want that quarterback, but I did some research last night. It's a good move." And the reason I picked this this comment is because my video on Friday, I was very monotone, I guess you could say. I wasn't super pumped, but I wasn't bummed out and mad, right? I was just very level-headed, and that's what I try to do when I go into some of these videos and some of the, especially when it comes to certain moves. And a lot of comments I got told me, you should be happy, and a lot of comments were mad that I wasn't as ecstatic as I was, but a lot of comments I didn't understand. Like, a lot of you guys were saying, it was a good move, I don't understand. And I even said the move was good. I said I was going to give the quarterback a chance. Like, I said a lot of the things that you guys commented, like give him a chance. And I was like, I said in the video I'm going to give him a chance. But I picked this comment out for Josh Rosen because it's the epitome of what I do, right? I see something, I either like it or I don't like it, and then I do more research on it, right? So Lenoris said that he didn't like it at first, but he did more research and he ended up liking it. A lot of you guys were super pissed at the Dolphins and super pissed in general that they didn't take Dwayne Haskins, and then when they took Josh Rosen, a lot of you guys that were super pissed became very happy. So with the whole Josh Rosen thing, I, at first, like I said, was very just like, I wasn't upset. Like, at first I didn't want the trade to happen because I had a plan in my head for what I wanted the Dolphins to do, which was really build through the trenches and then get that starting quarterback in the 2020 draft, right? Have him come on a team where he has an offensive line, defensive line that is stout, and he can just ball out. But then when I heard the rumors that the Dolphins were going for Josh Rosen, I was like, okay, if it's not a second, if it's like a third or a fourth or a fifth, I'm okay with that. And then when I found out it was a second, I was kind of like, ugh, because there was some very good players on the board. Then I did my research on Josh Rosen. I saw that there was the rumors that he had these problems, these attitude problems, which I'm going to put these tweets here from Omar Kelly and Adam Beasley saying that Chris Greer and Brian Flores in their press conference were contacted by people saying those were BS, and some of the people were like, you know, we know this dude, and that's not the case. But like I said, I did more research. He has some flaws in his game. Some of that could be offensive line play. Some of that could just be rookie rust. He was a rookie last year, you know, it's rust. But like I said, I did my research, I looked into it more, and I like the move for Josh Rosen on a couple fronts, right? One, we pick up a second round pick next year. So we're building in that capital and we're building up this team. I said to you guys earlier in this video, I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about it right now. The second reason is he now has a chip on his shoulder. He was a first round pick with the Arizona Cardinals, and then they jettisoned him away. They didn't want him. They wanted Kyler Murray, the more sexier quarterback, the more flashy quarterback. Now Josh Rosen has to show that he is the quarterback, and they should have kept him, aka Steve Young, Brett Favre. So there's that upside, there's that fire that I hope Josh Rosen has under his ass to prove to the world that he is the quarterback that should have been taken. The other thing, and I mentioned this in my last video, and I know a lot of you guys commented it, and I was like, when reading the comments, I'm like, I liked your comments. I read everyone's comments, and I like it regardless if you call me an idiot, a piece of shit, an asshole. I like it because you're talking to me. You're letting me know, and it helps me to learn. But you guys were like, his contract is 3 years, $6 million, da-da-da. I said that in my last video, and that's another reason why I like the move. Regardless if he does well, right, which I'm hoping he does well, which I'm hoping he kills it at quarterback, which I'm hoping we found our future quarterback, I'm hoping that this dude becomes the next best thing, that all of a sudden the Miami Dolphins with Josh Rosen are the New England Patriots with Tom Brady. We have our quarterback of the future, and now we can start worrying about the other things, which is why we have the 12 picks to build around Josh Rosen if all of a sudden he starts to kill it this year. But if he doesn't, again, you got to look at both sides of the coin. If he doesn't, we still keep him on the team because he's costing us $6 million, about $2 million a year. Have him compete with whoever we draft next year. So, like I said, and the same thing with Lenoris Murray, where he said, you know, he didn't like it at first, but he did his research. people are allowed to change their minds. People are allowed to have a certain opinion on something and then do research, talk to people, you guys, and change their mind. And at first I was bummed because I wanted to build more through the draft, especially the D line and O line, and I felt like there was players there. And also I was bummed because I saw some of his bad play. But then I did more research. I watched more tape. I listened and talked to more people, and I liked the move. It was cheap. It cost a second. And I'm hearing that the Dolphins wanted to take a quarterback in the second round, and the ones they wanted were gone because Drew Lock went early and all that stuff. So they got the quarterback. That I also heard a lot of, if Josh Rosen was in this draft, he would have been a first round pick. Got him with a second. So like I said in my last video, you got to give this guy a chance. And I'm going to give this guy a chance. He's now my quarterback. He's now on the Miami Dolphins. He's going to compete with Ryan Fitzpatrick. You don't even know if Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to play the whole year out. Look at Tampa Bay, where he had a good first 4 games, and all of a sudden he just started sucking, and they put Jameis Winston back in. I said that also in my last video, that I said it in my last video. So, but I want to just say something to the commenters. Thank you. Thank you very much for commenting. I had a ton of you guys comment. I think it was my most disliked video, this video, which, good. You know, if you don't like something I say, comment, let me know, be constructive. You guys were sending me paragraphs on how I was wrong and sending me paragraphs to tell me you need to look into this guy. Thank you, because you guys doing that opens my eyes, and it also goes the other way around. When I comment on your videos and when I comment on your comments, give you my opinion, I'm not being a jerk. We're having a conversation, and that's what I love about this channel, and that's what I love about you guys, is that we can have these conversations without you guys getting pissed and you guys wanting to unsubscribe and stuff. We have conversations. So that's what I wanted to say about Josh Rosen. He's now the Miami Dolphins quarterback. I don't know if he's wearing number 3. There's all the pictures out there that he's wearing number 3. I don't know if he's wearing number 3, but we'll see what he does. We'll see him compete. We'll see him in training camp. We'll see him in the preseason. We'll see what type of quarterback we got. You never know, boys and girls. We might have just found the quarterback of the future, and then next year we can use our first round pick to build up an offense or defensive line, or get a stud wide receiver or a tight end for this guy and just really build a team around him. So I like the move. The more I look at it, the more I realize it didn't cost us much. It's not costing us much in cap. So I like it. So be sure to comment below. Be sure to let me know what you think about everything, about my draft grade, about the draft, about the fact that they're going to build more through undrafted, the fact that they're going to fill these holes on May 8th with free agents. Let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think of my take on Josh Rosen. Also, thank you guys, like I said. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. When things break, especially with these undrafted free agents, I'm going to make a full video on it as soon as there's a list and as soon as the Dolphins make it official that these players are on the Dolphins. I'm going to make a video specifically for undrafted free agents, so be sure to follow me on Twitter. Also, check out the Bit Boys. Like I told you guys, I'm going to start playing Madden on there, so tomorrow night, I think I'm going to start playing Madden. I'm going to open some packs, maybe play one of you guys. But again, brace yourself, because I'm not the best, but I'm okay at Madden. But be sure to go over there, check out the Bit Boys. We play a ton of other games besides that. We're going to start doing more series and stuff over there, so be sure to check that out. Give this video a thumbs up, because people are allowed to change their mind. People are allowed to do more research, realize that, you know, things aren't the way they seem, and change their mind. Also, give this video a thumbs up, because the Dolphins are doing things right. The Dolphins are building this thing up. The Dolphins are not tanking, like I said 1,000 times. The Dolphins are building this team right, and for the first time in a long time, it feels good to see this team take things in a smart way. So give this video a thumbs up for that. Give this video a thumbs up, because I always admit when I'm wrong. But I always admit if I'm right too. Yeah, you know, you got to do what you got to do. But give this video a thumbs up. Also, subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I got a ton of things planned for you guys: OTAs, training camp, preseason picks, undrafted, all this stuff. I got so much stuff planned for you guys. So be sure to subscribe. I'm going to put out a video either tomorrow or Tuesday. So subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I will see you real soon. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.